guys, CJ Kirk here. I'm going to be in Europe, actually Luxembourg, at the end of June. I really want you to come train with me. I've spent the last 30 years doing Krav Maga, and I was recruited out of Houston to teach some things that we've been doing here for a long time. So even if we're doing things that you've done before or that you think you know, we're going to attack each of the defenses that we talk about within the context of the technique within the technique. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about during the seminar, but think about this. EME had developed a system-first architecture for the system. So optimize the system, not every single defense. And he used principles we all know about. Well, that's essentially a language. And the question is, how deeply have you learned to speak that language? I'll give you an example. One, then we're going to get in a fighting stance. So if I get in a fighting stance, I'm like here, right? And I asked you, okay, why are you in the fighting stance you're in? I bet that you're going to be answering like, well, I want the attacker to punch down the middle. Well, that might be one of the reasons why, but there's many, many reasons, many layers around why we get in a fighting stance like that. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, from that stance, how we punch more optimally, how we can hit the target 90, 95, 100% of the time. We're going to move to weapons. I'm going to give you an example of how to move to weapons. So I'm going to bring James in, who's one of our black belt instructors, and Lori, who's one of our apprentices. Here's something simple. Let's say you're doing a longa defense, and you're doing it to the live side. Do you know what seatbelting is? Do you know how to avoid being seatbelted? Do you know what the dipsy doodle is? Do you know what the response to being seatbelted is if you don't avoid it? All these things are technique within the technique. So I'm going to do an example. They're going to be in this position. You guys, that's fine. Lori's going to do a simple live side technique, go slow. She's going to redirect the gun, get on the gun. She's going to make a kick. She's going to pull, but she gets so excited that when she pulls James's hands into her body, and the gun is essentially the same shape as a seatbelt. So at this point, he can lock his arms out and he can start pushing. Right? I've never been in this, and he's much bigger than Lori. And so the question is, have you ever trained how to not get seatbelted? One, and two, if you're seatbelted, have you trained to undo this kind of thing? So these are just a couple little things. You guys are good, thank you. Couple of things we're going to do at the seminar, but everything we do will have this kind of flavor to it. So we will identify the risks of the initial attack. We'll identify the risks that we create as part of mistakes within the defense, and we'll even talk about risk mitigation and how to undo the things we did in the technique that were super suboptimal. So I have so much to share with you, and I really think if you don't come to the seminar, you're going to be behind. You're going to be behind at the end of the seminar because people are going to learn a ton of stuff. I want to share it with you. It's been 30 years in the making. Please join me in Luxembourg late June. I hope to see you there.